I got to upgrade to freaking premium Twitter to get it to go live on Twitter. Freaking Elon. Can't stand that dude.
Because we're live.
Oh, dude, I'm gonna get boys and girls. I'm gonna get Pacheco right here too. Oh God, I'm about to do disgusting. No chance. No chance.
Welcome into the PT Counter Podcast. My name is Tyler. Joining me, as always, my co-host, directly to my right over here, my guy Grayson Winters. Gray man, what's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, boys? It's a great day to be a sports fan. You know, college football starts up big time. For week one tomorrow, I know Reed's hype. He's been dreaming about days like this and nights like the ones to come, so he can't wait for it.
Something like that. Below me here, from across the hallway, or I guess the room, if you will, my guy Reid Roelofs of the Moneyline Masterclass. Reed, what's up, dude?
Fellas, welcome to the live YouTube show. Shout out to Edsel for making this happen. Grayson looking good over there. He's got a fantasy draft going on right now, so he's not as locked in as we might like him to be, but you know, fantasy football I guess comes first around these parts. So take that as you want it.
It's my money league, and it just so happens to be drafting at the same exact time as we're about to get into some business right here. But we're not talking any NFL today, so all the viewers, thank Edsel later for cutting my bid out.
Hey, I asked if you wanted it. You said no, thank you. So you can't put that on me.
The NFL stinks, man. Okay, I'm just drafting because it's a way to gamble. That's it. That's the only reason.
Just got to scratch that gambling addiction, or you could just be like us and bet college football every weekend.
That will be happening as well. Wait until this fat parlay I put down on $5 on Saturday morning. It will be electric.
There we go. All right, so we got a loaded agenda for you today. We are going straight into our picks. As Reed dominated the Own the Board last year, we've changed up the format. The committee didn't like it for drama, so we've gone with a different direction with our pick show this year. And then we'll also get into some games of interest from the non-Saturday slate of games. That includes the Thursday, Friday, and then Sunday and Monday as well. And then we will get into our Pick'em League, 10 games that ESPN has chosen for us to pick. And so we will get into that. Some week zero fallout from Florida State and SMU, and maybe the ACC as a whole, plus odds and ends. So let's go ahead and get right into this with our picks. We have changed the format to where we are going one favorite, one underdog, and one wild card pick. That could be anything you choose. Reed, as the winner of last year, I will give you the honor of going first here.
What an honor indeed. Where do I even start? If you've heard me talk about football, college football over the last couple of months, you know that I have absolutely faded Florida any opportunity I get, and that is no different here. Miami comes to town, and Miami, who I think is a much better team, is only 2.5-point favorites. I don't think this one's close. I think it's at least a double-digit victory. I think they come in there into the swamp, dominate. I love my Hurricanes -2.5.
See, for the longest time there, I thought for sure that Florida was going to win that game. I flipped around here in like the last week. I think Miami gets it done. I think they're too talented, but it's scary going into the swamp. You know firsthand, tough place to go in and win a ball game.
It is, and I think it'll be close. Maybe first half, it'll remain within striking distance, but I think they're too talented. They pull away late, and the swamp goes home sad, which is good for me and my Florida under season total as well. So let's crush two birds with one stone here.
Love that. I'll go next
Yeah,
with
that's
my
a
favorite. Grayson, I was right in the middle of talking, brother. You're all good. I'll take Florida State minus the 15.5 this week. They are playing Boston College on Monday. No reason why you should trust Florida State at all. They just lost in Ireland to Georgia Tech. This game was minus 21 before that game, and it's sunk all the way to minus 15.5. I think that's too much of a discount. I will take the Noles to make a statement here in week one. And so that's why I'm on Florida State there.
Yeah, Tyler, I can agree with you. I think that Florida State needs to have a big time impact game after the one that they had this past week. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out and put a hurting on Georgia State, especially with the fact that Georgia State's head coach decided that he was going to quit 2 days into spring ball earlier this year. So no spring ball for the Georgia State team. So that's interesting to me. I like it.
Guess we're going back around the wheel here. I can go with our favorite underdog to cover. Give me Clemson plus 7.5 in the first half against Georgia. I know that may be a shock to some. I don't think Georgia is as dominant as we've seen in years past. I think they're still very talented, but I think Clemson can hold their own, especially in the first half. If Georgia pulls away late, that's fine. Not interested in that. I do think they keep it within one score though in the first half. So give me Clemson plus 7.5 in the first half, and let's roll the dice there and see what happens. I think it'll be close.
Gray, any thoughts there on that one? I know the Bulldogs are kind of America's team this year.
Yeah, they are a little bit of America's team. I like it. I like it.
So for my dog here, a lot of different directions I could have gone with this. Wyoming is going to be my play here, plus 6.5. They are on the road at Arizona State, I should say, not Arizona. Grayson, this is still, we're still big Fafita and the Cats guys this year. So I don't want to fade them in week one, but I will fade Arizona State. I don't think they should be favored, let alone by 6.5 points. So I'll take Wyoming there. I think they're live to win this game outright.
I like that. I like that a lot. Another one that I got, Kansas is playing Lindenwood. A lot of people probably don't know who Lindenwood is, but they're a team that just came up to FCS 2 years ago. And I think Kansas is absolutely going to come out and show off how explosive that offense is going to be this year, and they're going to blow the absolute brakes off of them. So I love that in that game. I actually like the points in that game. So give me all of that.
Interesting take. I think their offense is going to be really good. It's just a matter of when they'll pull the starters out and get ready for week two. So hard to know, but I don't hate it at all. I'll keep going with James Madison minus 8.5 at Charlotte. Etzel's boy Big Biff basically went out and said that everyone is hurt on their team, half the starters, and will not play. So any chance you see that? And James Madison, I know they lost a lot from last year. I think they also gained a number of transfers and experienced transfers in the portal. So give me James Madison minus 8.5. Even though it's a new team, new roster, they are experienced. So I like that number at 8.5.
Yeah, I like it too. I wish I would have known before Biff went off and said that he was going to miss half of his starters. This number was 6 earlier in the week, so quite the jump there. And I imagine it runs even further. But I do like that at the 8.5. My wild card here, I'm going with the Texas and Colorado State over at, I believe I got it at 59. It's up to 60.5 right now. I don't think that is too far. And here's the thing. So Texas' offense was really good last year. Ewers is back. Obviously, the running back room is a little thin, but they did a good job of replacing those receivers who went to the draft. I think they'll be able to score 40 on their own. And if there's one thing that Colorado State's offense does really, really well, it is Braden Fowler Nicolosi throwing the ball to Torrey Horton, who's the best receiver in the Mountain West. And where was Texas weak? The secondary. So I think this shapes up to be pretty easily somewhere in the range of like 45-21, somewhere up there in the mid to high 60s, low 70s. I'll take the over 60.5, and I would honestly play it up to like 66 here.
I like that. One that I don't know if anybody is going to like. I know that you guys aren't going to like it, but call me a homer if you want. I think that Notre Dame is going to win in Kyle Field this weekend. I absolutely love the Irish. I think that Marcus Freeman has gotten Elko one time. I think he's going to get him a second time, and it's going to be even better with Riley Leonard at the helm. So give me the Irish to win that game. And then my second one, North Dakota State is traveling down to Boulder to play Colorado. And I absolutely think that Colorado is fraud. I think that North Dakota State's going to come in there. They're not going to win the game, but they're going to cover the spread there. So I absolutely love that game. So give me it all day. 9.5 points is an easy lay.
Yeah, so for me, I like the North Dakota State play, mainly because I also don't like this Colorado team. Pat Shermer is their offensive coordinator, and that guy stinks. So I don't know if I'll bet it with you, but I'll be behind you there. And I'm also on Colorado's season long under. So I think we agree in where we're going there.
Grayson, if you're a real fan, why don't you drive down to A&M and go see it yourself?
Because we'd be in the middle of tax season and I would get fired.
On a Saturday?
I work on Saturdays, man. That's the life of a young accountant.
Sad.
It's okay because I don't work at 7 p.m., baby, and we're going to be riding at the house. And my dad's driving up to Oklahoma to come watch the game this weekend. So let's rock.
Cole said we needed to clip something. Do we need pause, immunity? Cole, I'm going to need more of what I need to clip there.
Basically, Grayson's take, I'm sure, is what he's saying. It was not. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I think A&M wins that game. So good luck, Gray. Good luck to your father. Hope he has a safe drive home, but it won't be a happy one.
I can't wait to digest this game for you in a second. I'm literally going to hop in there and just rip it into shreds. Show you exactly why.
Okay, so let's run down our picks here. I'll start. I got my favorite, Florida State minus the 15.5, Wyoming plus the 6.5, and Colorado State, Texas over 60.5 are going to be my three. Reed, what are yours?
Miami minus 2.5, Clemson plus 7.5 in the first half, and James Madison minus 8.5.
I love that. Sorry. I put North Dakota State plus 9.5 was mine for that.
What were your other two?
Notre Dame, Moneyline, Kansas to cover 44.
Love it, love it, love it. So we'll do that weekly here. Our picks, a favorite, a dog, and a wild card. But let's get into the rest of the games of the weekend because we didn't even really touch all the good ones here. We got to start Thursday night. Reed, I'm just going to give you the floor on this one. UNC at Minnesota. This is going to be I believe, a 7:00 kickoff here, Central Time. Minnesota has been a 2-point favorite basically all the way up until this like Monday or Tuesday. And all of a sudden it's flipped around and now North Carolina is favored. So what's going on here?
I wish I had the answers. Sounds like there may be some injuries to some of the Gopher starters. Two players mentioned who may be the culprits there would be Darius Taylor, the star young running back, as well as Daniel Jackson, a star receiver. So those guys have missed time in camp and have not really gotten further updates. So there is maybe some suspicion that they will miss the game, which would definitely be a blow. But yeah, 4.5-point swing in about 24 hours or so is a little bit suspicious from when that flipped. So not sure exactly what's going on, but it'll be something. North Carolina still has not revealed who their quarterback will be. I expect both of them to play in some capacity, whether it's Max Johnson, the transfer from A&M, or I believe Connor Harrell, who's a little bit more of a dual threat guy. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting game. This game is in Minnesota, so I think that matters a little bit. But I don't think North Carolina is as explosive as last year. So I think it'll be a pretty even game. No matter who shows out on top, I think it'll come down to the end. But yeah, I'm a little bit sad we're not getting Gus Johnson and Joel Klatt on the mic. They I guess wanted to go prepare for Saturday, which I guess I can't blame them because I don't think both these teams are going to be very relevant come the end of the year. But all that to say, go Gophers, and I hope we find a way to pull that one out.
So it looks like the total here is 50.5. I don't know about you. That just feels awfully high for a Minnesota offense and a question mark at quarterback on the other offense. I would lean under, but I'm not completely sure about that.
Yeah, I think that's a fair play. Only thing is, I can't root an under for my own team, so I'm out on that one. But looking at it, stylistically, and apart from my own bias, 50 does seem a little high. I think if it goes over, North Carolina wins. So maybe you just like that bet better at -2. But yeah, I don't know. I think that is too many points, especially for first game of the year when the offenses may not be what they are to end. So who knows? But I would probably lean under there as well.
Yeah, I didn't super deep dive into this game, but I think it's going to be really hard for North Carolina to have an offense similar to what they had last year, especially losing, their big prospect in Drake May, who seems to not be panning out well at the Patriots organization right now. But I just think it's hard that they're going to have to come back in and try to figure out a quarterback spot. And if anybody knows how crappy Max Johnson can look, me and Etzel saw it firsthand experience. I don't think that he's the dude. I think that I love Minnesota in this game, and I did it exactly like that. I pronounced it just for Reed for his cultural standpoint. So love it.
Row the boat, Sky. I'll go Gophers, baby.
And if anybody was wondering, I have been playing NCAA 25 with Minnesota as my franchise team just for Reid Roelofs, and I stream it on Twitch every now and then. And Reid tells me that I'm disrespecting his organization, so it's crucial. It's brutal.
You went like 3-9, so that would be the definition of disrespect. Yes.
There's only so much you can do with that roster. Let me be honest with you.
In fairness, I did go 5-7.
It's a tough team. Flick's not been able to recruit. Hopefully that changes around here soon, but Lord knows we could use some more NIL money.
The one matchup I worry about here, and Reed, I don't know if you can speak to this. Omarion Hampton's rushed prop is at 96.5. That thing has spiked up from like the mid 80s here lately. So I don't know if there's a defensive line concern with Minnesota. I know the defense is typically pretty good, but that's a high number for a college game with North Carolina being involved.
I think that has to do with just their, instability at quarterback. I don't think they know necessarily who's going to go out there and shine. So I think they're going to lean heavily on Hampton. And I think they're going to feed him. I think he's going to get 20 plus carries in this game. So it might have a little bit more to do with uh, maybe the quarterback issue, but yeah, I'm not sure what to expect defensively from Minnesota. New defensive coordinator. So haven't really got a chance to really see how he operates. Um, but yeah, I think that's a fair number. He wouldn't shock me if he went over, just because I think he's going to get a lot of carries, even if he's efficient or not. So 96 does sound high, but I think they're going to feed him.
That's fair, especially if they're rotating quarterbacks. I can see the vision at least. I won't make us pick it since I believe it's in our picks for ESPN here in a little bit. So we'll cross that bridge here in a minute. Let's keep it going to North Dakota State at Colorado. This number started around 7.5. It's up to 9.5 or 10, depending on the book that you find. Colorado being favored. Total 61 looks like across the board. So pretty high scoring game. North Dakota State, perennial FCS power. I believe they're top 5 again to start the year this year in the preseason rankings. It's going to be an interesting game because North Dakota State definitely blue collar, bring your hard hat to work type of team. Colorado is going to try to overwhelm them with the athletes, the pure out athlete test here. So we'll see how that goes. This one's a 7 p.m. kickoff here on ESPN. I don't have too many thoughts about it. I would lean like Grayson did towards North Dakota State, but it's nothing for me. I'm on Colorado's under for the year. I got it at 5.5 and 4.5. And if I had to choose probably my best bet here, it'd be the under 61 points. I think that North Dakota State can string enough stops together to keep this thing in a phone booth. But Gray, what do you have here?
I think that North Dakota State could take this win. I'm being so serious. I think Colorado's kind of fraud. I think that these FCS schools are up for the challenge, especially with how the transfer portal is. I mean, you've seen it. We haven't seen a game that was a significant blowout outside of Hawaii. I mean, genuinely. So I really think that this game could be a lot closer than probably anyone would expect it to be. So I would not be surprised in any shape or form if North Dakota State covers this and potentially wins, I would think.
That makes sense with, kind of where Colorado is as a program at this point and kind of the whole Dion shtick. I'll be interested to see if North Dakota State can get a pass rush on Shadur. Some of the games where Shadur kind of struggled last year was when they got a pass rush on him. So if Colorado can protect him, I think that they can score plenty of points. But if not, North Dakota State might be pretty live here.
Yeah, I completely agree. And I've heard a lot of bad stuff about this offensive line. They did a lot of portal work for Colorado, and I still don't think that it's going to be enough for them to have a sufficient offensive line. I mean, the idea of using the portal to try to get yourself a team that's going to be full of vets is sometimes not the best when you have a group of offensive linemen fighting all the time during practice and arguing with each other and 5 dudes coming from different schools that want to be the number one leader on that offensive line. It pulls a lot of strings. It gets a lot of, nobody wanting to do what the other person wants to do. There's no team chemistry on that team. So one thing is for certain that we will see in the game. We will see Shedeur Sanders throw the ball 50 times. That is an absolute guaranteed. That is a cold take. Yeah, simple as that.
I just don't know if I trust Pat Shermer to be the one who's actually calling those plays. I didn't like him when he was in the NFL. I definitely don't like him in college with Shadur. Like it's a no from me. Reed, I thought you were opting out of the Colorado discussion, but since you are now back, do you have anything on this one?
As much as I wish I was, yeah, I don't know what to expect from this game. I haven't necessarily been on my NDSU bandwagon yet. They have new coach as well, so really don't know what to expect from them. It seems like they've been a little bit more down than they have been in the last couple of years. And with the new coach, not sure what to expect, but we know what to expect from Colorado. They're probably going to have a bad line again. They're probably going to throw the ball a lot. But Shermer is interesting, and not for the right reasons. He, was a former NFL guy. Apparently he's going to bring a pro-style offense there. Does that mean, Shadur's going to throw the ball less? Are they going to try to establish the run? What are they going to do when it doesn't work? There's just a lot of question marks for me that I, wanted to stay away. But I do think that point total at 60, 61 is a little bit higher than I think I'm expecting. So for that reason, I would probably lean under, but just have really no idea what to expect from either of these teams early on.
Yeah, I think it might be a pick as well. So we'll save any predictions there. Let's go to Friday's games. We'll save OU and Temple here for a minute, but I think probably the closest game of the night will be TCU at Stanford. This game opened up at Stanford plus like 10.5 or 11, got bet all the way down to 8, and now it's back up to 9.5. Total is kind of high for these two teams. It's up there at 60. This game is 9:30 p.m. on ESPN Friday night, kind of taking the mantle of Pac-12 After Dark again, which we do appreciate. I'm on Stanford here for one reason and one reason only, is because it's a great chance for me to hedge my win total under 3.5 on them. If they win this game, they're probably going to go over, and I don't see a path for them to go. I don't see the path for them to go over if they lose this game. So it's a good chance to hedge. I'll take the plus. I got it at +9. I'd take the 9.5, 10, whatever's available. But that's basically all it is. And plus, I think Stanford can match up with TCU outside. They've got the athletes. Elick Ailmanor, who lit up Colorado for 300 plus last year, he returns, and I think he's going to be a stud outside. So if Higgins can deliver the ball to him, I will take Stanford here to get the cover. I think they can potentially win it as well, especially at home, but I won't get greedy. I'll take my 9 and keep it moving.
Yeah, I mean, I also have a hard time knowing what to expect from TCU. I don't think they're very good, and 9.5 does seem like a lot. I probably would lean Stanford as well here. Not even sure TCU is going to win this game. I think they will. It's just going to come down to if they're able to throw the ball successfully enough. I think that's how they're going to have to beat teams, is through the air. I'm not sure they're going to be able to get much on the ground going all year. And maybe Stanford is a good opportunity to test that out. But yeah, it's looking a little bit bleak for both these teams. But I would love Stanford to find a way to win this game as a TCU under better. But we'll see what happens.
Yeah, this game is, I feel like, is going to be just some really, really crap show football out here. I don't expect very promising things from either one of these teams. I think we've talked a lot that none of us really like TCU, and has anybody really liked Stanford since like Toby Gerhart played there? I mean, let's be completely honest. So yeah, I mean, it's not the thing for me. I'm just graced by God that Stanford gets to play Notre Dame this year. That's about it.
You lucky dog. Not everybody gets the pleasure of getting to play Stanford this year, but yeah, I mean, I think they'll be better than last year, but they went 3-9 last year, and I think they'll probably go about the same this year. That's just ACC scheduling maybe, plus they get Notre Dame. So yeah, we'll take the under, and we'll hope for the best. Obligatorily, I think we have to talk OU Temple. I have no thoughts except I expect OU to probably hang 55, and if that means they don't allow 2 touchdowns, they'll cover. So give me an over, I guess, but I think OU has quick work here at Temple.
I like it. I like it a lot. I'm surprised that you would ever pick OU in a game ever, being such a homer. So that surprises me a little bit. I know the wound's a little bit deep from losing your 5-star offensive lineman, but that's for a different day. I don't even want to hear about it. But yeah, point being made, I'm a little bit shocked there that you take them, even though Temple is going to get absolutely run through. So,
I mean, look, let's be real. I don't care about players until they actually play in college. The whole recruiting game, it's just not for me. The high school prospects, like, cool, man. They'll end up in the portal in 2 years anyway. So if they want to come play at Texas, they'll come play at Texas regardless.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That's the Quinn Ewers mentality. Go head over to Ohio State, get paid, and then come back to UT where you belong, buddy.
The real question is who's going to sit down and watch this game? If there are people actually watching this game in the second half that aren't Boomer fans, probably find some help. But yeah, it's going to be a blowout. It's not going to be close. Cole's going to go to sleep happy out there in Albuquerque, and it'll be a wrap.
I was about to say, I think I could find one person who may or may not be in the chat right now who would probably watch the second half of that game.
Yeah, I guarantee the OU fans are going to watch this game because it's going to be one of 6 wins on their season. So I would definitely be watching if I was them.
And you called me the homer. I didn't even come out with a take that hot.
I mean, their SEC schedule is brutal. There's no way they're winning more than 6.
You see who said that, Cole? That was not me. That was this way. There we go. That was our guy Gray here.
Hey, if you guys win 3 games, you're probably in the playoff. Or if you guys only lose 3 games, you're probably in the playoffs. So figure it out and figure it out quick.
Fair enough. Any of the other ones that interest you? Coastal and Jacksonville State on Friday might be the closest game of the day. And then FAU at Michigan State. I would take Michigan State there laying the 14. This FAU team stinks. They're not good. They're going to be outside of the top 100 and all the team metrics, and they're probably going to go 6-6 because they play 6 god-awful teams. But I think MSU first game under Johnny Smith coming in from Oregon State. His boy Aiden Chiles playing quarterback. I'll lay the 14. I think MSU lays a hammer here.
Yeah, I lean Michigan State too as well. I'm not sure what to expect from this roster just because I know Jonathan Smith loves to run the ball. Not sure they have the personnel in year one to really accomplish that. But against FIU, anything is possible. So, yeah, I don't hate that at all.
All right. So that is going to be all of those on Friday. Let's get to the main attraction here. Grayson, I think probably the most interesting game of the weekend with maybe the most to lose for both of these teams. LSU and USC in Vegas Sunday night. What do you know about this one?
I want to start off by saying that these 2 teams are like the Spider-Man meme, just pointing right across at each other. It's 2 teams that are going to play absolutely impeccable offense and play absolutely 0 defense the whole entire game. These 2 teams last season averaged 70 points per game total in every single game they played in. And it's just going to be a blowout of the century. It's going to be a 51-56 kind of score. I think that this 64.5 point over under is not even going to be close to enough. I think this game could go, upwards to easily 75, 80 points in this game. It's going to be a straight up shootout. These 2 teams were 118 and 119 in EPA snaps per snap last season. And it's just scary. And I don't think either one of these teams have gotten remotely better on defense. I know USC got a new defensive coordinator, and one would think that's going to help, but I don't think it's going to do much against LSU and their probably top 3 offensive line in the country and this passing attack. So it's going to be something to watch.
Yeah, I know Reed was kind of scathing on LSU preseason when we did our SEC preview. I kind of agree with you that they didn't really improve their defense all that much. I know they basically took their entire staff out, but I'm just not sure they made enough improvements over there, especially if they don't use Harold Perkins in the right way. I'm on the over. I got it at 63.5. I think it goes way over as well. Would lean towards USC on the side, but that's probably because I'm a little bit more bullish on USC than most. But Reed, what did you have in this one?
It feels like it's going to be another shootout. I do expect USC's defense to be a little bit better, and it'd be hard to imagine LSU's. Both these schools are probably the top teams in the country. At least the most profile teams just have such bad defense that was, I guess, somewhat unexpected. LSU's was, there's a reason, people didn't expect Jaden Daniels to win the Heisman all year long, and it wasn't because of him. It was just because they weren't winning games because their defense was letting everybody score 40 on them. And then USC, same deal with Caleb Williams, just not getting the support there on the defensive side. So both those quarterbacks are gone, so I expect it to be a little bit less explosive than last year. And LSU also lost, a majority of their weapons, but I think this line is fair. I would probably lean over just because I'm not sure about the improvements on defense. But it's going to be an exciting game to watch, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, and this one is not in the pick'em since the pick'ems are only on Saturdays. Grayson, winner outright. Who you got?
Oh God, and I hate it too. I truly do. I hate Brian Kelly, and I hate going for him. But I think LSU is going to win this game outright, and I think it's going to be by 5 points in a large 50-plus point game on each side. So, but I hate to do it. I truly do.
Hey, that's big of you to take a Brian Kelly led team. That's growth out of you. I'm proud of you.
Always, always, always remember, never forget. All right.
Reed, what do you got?
Yeah, this one's tough. I actually think USC is going to find a way to win this game. That's probably just because I'm a little bit more out on LSU. So I think USC comes in there and steals the win early on.
I kind of agree. I'll take USC outright. I don't love it. I'm not going to bet any of my own money on it, but if it was a pick, that would be the way I would lean. I don't know. I just kind of like the continuity that USC has, and I like the upgrades they made to their defensive staff a lot more than I like LSU. So that's why we're rolling with that one. I guess this is now probably a pretty good time to transition into the Saturday slate of games. We got 10 of them lined up on ESPN that are in our pick'em. I will kind of run them down here, and we can each kind of make our picks as we go, as we will lock them in on our slate. So the first game up that we've got is going to be Penn State, number 8 Penn State at West Virginia. This is 11 a.m. on Fox, the big noon game. Unfortunately for Reed, no Gus, no Joel Klatt, going to be in Minnesota. They'll be in West Virginia instead. This is my hot take, and I've kind of flipped around on this one. I actually like Penn State a lot in this game. Did not think I would get there, but I do like the way that Penn State matches up here. I do think they'll be able to stop West Virginia's run attack, and I don't trust Garrett Green to beat them in the air. So I'll lay them with Penn State. I'll take them outright, of course, but I think it's a double-digit victory for the Nittany Lions here. Grayson, what do you have?
I absolutely love Penn State in this game. I think West Virginia is overhyped. If you go back and look through their schedule last year, they won 8 games, but they played the worst 8 quarterbacks one could possibly play on a schedule to get those 8 wins. Offensive coordinator Andy, I'm going to butcher this last name, Koltanicki?
Close enough.
Okay, beautiful. He was Kansas's offensive coordinator last year, and he's coming over to Penn State. And I think he's going to get this run game with Penn State absolutely electric. Penn State was 82nd in run efficiency last year in the country, and under Koltanicki, Kansas was 27, and Penn State has much better talent than they had. So I would not be surprised in any way if this offense wasn't actually moving the ball really well. I'm not super sold on Drew, but I think that I could get around to him, especially in this game.
I love it there. Reed, what do you have here?
I actually think I'm going to disagree with you guys a little bit. I think West Virginia covers in this game. I think they keep it close, especially at home. I think it's closer than people realize, but I think Penn State ultimately does come away with a win. But this West Virginia team is a little bit scary. Garrett Green, I think, is underrated. Dual threat guy who's can get it done through the air and on the ground. But those rowdy Mountaineers, man, they're going to keep it close some way or another, whether that's by brute force or who knows what. But I think this one will be close, and I'm a little bit nervous for Penn State coming in here. I do think they are more talented, and we'll ultimately find a way. But wouldn't shock me if this one stays close at all.
I do. My one other reason why I'm going Penn State here is because James Franklin has a tendency to maybe get late scores that tend to cover spreads that may or may not matter. You might remember week 1 last year against Penn State. I believe they were up 16 and the spread was somewhere around 20. And with a minute left, what did our guy James do? He went ahead and punched one into the end zone to. Let's go blank.
Looks like we have lost.
There we go. Now we're back. So you might remember they were up about 16 with a minute left. James Franklin runs a touchdown in to get a cover there. West Virginia and many other bettors not exactly thrilled with that one. So we'll see if they keep that in mind, but that won't turn me away. I'll still lay it there with Penn State. Next game up, West Virginia, Vandy. This is a ESPN Plus game, I believe, something along those lines, maybe SEC Network. Vandy is plus 425 on the money line. Virginia Tech minus 550. I believe the spread is 13 points. And for me here, I'll take Virginia Tech to win outright. I don't know if I would lean towards Vandy on the spread. I probably would, but that's because I'm a little bit higher on Vandy than most. But I'll take VT to get the outright win. I think they're far better. And if I'm going to take them over 8 wins, they better not lose the layup. That is Vanderbilt. So give me them. And great having this.
I love Virginia Tech in this game. My biggest thing and the thing I think that you need to pay attention to for Virginia Tech is Antoine Powell. He's going to have a humongous game in this one. He had 9.5 sacks last season. He's a preseason All-American. He's a vet. He's going to be a freaking hoss in this game. And I think that you're going to have two quarterbacks back there for Vandy that are going to be scrambling their tails off because I think Diego Pavia isn't going to get the job done, and I think you're going to see Nate Johnson in this game. But give me Virginia Tech.
Hey, don't hate on my guy Diego, who I absolutely hated last year, but that's neither here nor there.
Hey, it's hard to hate the young man, but yeah, I don't think he's gonna. I think he's gonna get welcomed to Power 4 football really quick.
Reed, what you got?
Yeah, I think Vandy stinks, and I like Virginia Tech this year, so I don't think this one's gonna be close. I like that number for Virginia Tech, and I think they go out and make a statement. That's for sure.
Next one up, one of the more interesting games of the day. We got Clemson and Georgia. This one is being played in Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, so it's pretty much a home game for Georgia. They're favored by 13.5. 14 has not popped yet, which is a little bit interesting. It's been floating between 13 and 13.5, but for whatever reason, we can't get a 14. So I think the books know something. And I think that means we're going to end up here at 13. So I think Clemson will cover. I think we're looking at something like 37-24, maybe something along those lines. But I think Georgia wins. Maybe not really ever in doubt, but a final score that I think is a little bit closer than the game is. Gray, what you
got? I think Georgia is 8-0 in week 1 under Kirby Smart. I think that Georgia's going to come out. They're going to handle business. The biggest questions I have for Georgia right now is Trevor Etienne has got a DUI over the summer. We're not sure if he's going to play in the game or not. They haven't confirmed. And Roderick Robinson, he's out with injury. He had turf toe or something, had like surgery on it or something during the year. So he's out right now. I don't think it's going to matter. I think this is the best, if not the second best offensive line in the country, led by 3 guys that are going to be All-Americans on this offensive line. I think it's not going to matter too much. I think that Clemson isn't even going to come close to this 14 points. I think this is going to be a blowout game.
Yeah, I like Clemson in this. I think they're going to be able to keep it close, at least early. It seems like if they get behind early, it's going to be wrapped, and Georgia's going to run away with it. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to expect from Georgia this year. I'm not as high on them as I have been in the past. And Clemson feels like they're due to take somewhat of a step forward. So, for that reason, I like them to cover. I think they'll keep it close. I'm just not sure if they can, sustain that for 60 minutes. So that's where the concern is. But, especially early on, I expect it to be, relatively close.
I can see the angle there. I do think Clemson and maybe this is more of a ACC in general thought. With the way that Florida State looked in week 1, and then we're going to see Miami play immediately after this game. We just saw SMU get taken to the wire by Nevada. Like, I don't know, is the ACC maybe more wide open than we thought for a team like Clemson if they can put it all together?
I think that it is going to be pretty close to being wide open for Clemson. I think they might have a little bit of trouble. Maybe NC State could give a run at it. I don't think Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech could be a good team. I don't think they're going to be a super competitive team for this. But I think if we see Clemson come out and they put it all together in this game, I think that they could run away with the ACC. And I think you could see them as one of those top, probably the number 4 seed in the playoffs. So
I'm not sure I'd go that high, but I do, I think Clemson, sees themselves as a program that's, always up there competing. I wouldn't have given it that much of I mean, I would have said that they're up there regardless of what happened, to Florida State. And even with that, I think they should feel even better about their opportunity. Even if they don't win the game, to show that, they are no slouches. Losing a game to Georgia is not the same thing as losing a game to Georgia Tech. So, yeah, I think that matters. And, I think they're going to come out with their hair on fire just because if they can find a way to steal this game, it's going to be such huge momentum going into the ACC. And obviously, it's week 1 against the number 1 team in the country. So motivation is going to be there. And for that reason, I think it's going to be, I don't think Georgia runs away with it. I just feel like that's not going to happen. So I'm excited to watch for sure.
All right, next game up on the board here, we've got Oklahoma State hosting South Dakota State. The Jackrabbits are coming to Stillwater. This is an ESPN Plus game at 1 o'clock. Last year, Gundy had a bad loss in non-conference. South Alabama kind of flipped their season on its head, and they used it to reel off 9 wins and go to the Big 12 title game. So if they can avoid a loss like that this year, that would be great. But the South Dakota State team, they're going to be physical. They're going to run the football. I'm interested to see how Oklahoma State's defense holds up. They ran like 3-3-5 last year, and they kind of got shredded. They returned a lot of production, but not sure it'll be enough to be a good defense. But I do think they find a way to win this game. But my bold prediction here is that we're going to head into the fourth quarter, and it's going to be a thought like, is South Dakota State going to pull this off? But I think Oklahoma State pulls away late.
Yeah, I think that I would agree with you there on that one, Ed. I know a few things. I think that they're definitely going to have their hands full in this game. The Jackrabbits have won 29 straight games in a row, and they're 37-3 under starting quarterback Mark Gronowski, who, by the way, is a certified unit. This dude's 6'3", 230. I mean, he's a freight train. I think this guy's going to be a menace in the air and on the ground for South Dakota State. And, I did a little bit of research looking into when was the last time South Dakota State played a Power 4 team. They played Iowa, like 2 or 3 years ago, and it was 7-3 loss, which I don't know how much that says about their offense or how much that says about – we already know Iowa's offense. But I think this game could be really, really interesting. I know in Oklahoma it's going to be raining this weekend. So weather should be wet, which should fit right into Gundy's Gundy's promise of 50 carries for Ollie Gordon for his DUI. So can't wait to see the Cowboys run the ball every single play. Let's go.
He's done it 1,000 times himself. It's no big deal.
How many times? If I got pulled over for every time I had 4 beers, golly, this guy's insane.
Weather should be wet, man. For that reason, take the under. I'm with you, Grayson. Take the under. Weather should be wet. I love it. So, yeah, I think Oklahoma State's going to run away with this one, literally and figuratively. I think they're just going to hand it to Ollie a million times and see what happens. Maybe don't want to reveal their hand too much offensively, but yeah, I just love this team as a unit, and they're so experienced. They have so many redshirt guys that are upperclassmen, and they bring back so many guys from last year. So there's a lot to like. I'm a Cowboy guy this year, so I think they win. And that line's a little bit suspicious, but I do think they cover.
Reed, what are they going to? What's this offense going to show that you're so worried that they're not going to show enough of? What are we going to see? Alan Bowman throw the ball and them run the ball? I mean, come on. There's not much this offense can do. They're not very complex. Okay.
I mean, but that game, the 7-3, it was 2 safeties and a field goal that Iowa scored to get to 7.
That's classic Iowa offense, baby. Let's go.
It's just good complimentary football.
That's something. That's how we know they're not scoring touchdowns. I wonder if it's gonna be different this year with McNamara, but that's I guess another sight to be seen. I guess it's not been good in camp, but I would hate to be an Iowa fan. It just sounds like a miserable life.
Well, their OC's suspended for first game of the season for recruiting, so it's really gonna be a shamble offensively without him there. God, they might only score 7 this week. Oh no.
Yeah, Ferentz and the receiver coach are both suspended for their first game. So Ferentz is never going to go into the portal and tamper again since he got dinged for Caden McNamara, of all people.
That's a shame. Just a shame.
Only Iowa things. Next game up, Miami of Ohio traveling to the Lakefront Stadium in Chicago. That is Northwestern. Suspiciously close spread here. Northwestern only favored by 3. Here's one of my upsets. I think Miami of Ohio wins the game outright. Only 9% of people picking that on the bowl leagues on the pick'em. So I'll go out on a limb. I'll take my Red Hawks. I took them last year to win the MAC. I don't think they win it this year, but good squad. Gabbard's healthy early. I think they win this game, and Northwestern does not get the close game voodoo that they had last year.
Miami has yet to cover the spread in their last 4 road openers as the underdog. With that being said, give me Northwestern with the points. It's a for certain.
Yeah, this game just feels like in general, it's like obviously it's 3 points, and as a Power 4 team now, that should be maybe a little bit shocking. But I feel like this is one that actually Northwestern runs away with. Miami's not a bad team, but I think Northwestern is just going to keep the ball on the ground and get loose in their new stadium. So I think Northwestern by 10.
Y'all are no fun. Next game, Miami of Florida traveling to the Swamp to get the Gators. Like I said earlier, I have flipped myself around on this one. For the longest time, I thought Florida was going to win and cover. Now I will flip it around. I think Miami gets it done. Too talented. And as long as Cristobal doesn't screw it all up, I think they get the job done. So give me the U here.
My biggest take on this one, can Florida apply any sort of pressure in this game? So did some more research on Cam Ward. Cam Ward, because we were talking the other day who was the best quarterback in Florida. And Reed was no doubt Cam Ward. So obviously I had to go do some research because I love arguing with Reed. So Cam Ward's PPF rating in a clean pocket is 88.2. But under pressure, his PPF rating is 57. Okay, it's 57. We're talking 31 whole points.
Stop!
Listen,
no, stop! No, wait. It's not. What? Okay, Grayson. What does PPF stand for?
PFF. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's on me. I meant PFF. Anyways, point being made. Basically, what I'm saying is, if Florida can apply pressure, you could see a big change in this game with Cam Ward, but with Florida only having 13.5 sacks last season, I couldn't imagine them applying that much pressure. They did get that number 1 overall FCS transfer in the portal from Penn, that Joey Slackman. Should be interesting to see how he proves at the FBS level, but it will be something to watch. But I would definitely take Miami.
Cole, that one will be clipped, by the way. We'll save that one for future use.
Grayson, big PPF guy for what it's worth. Yeah, Miami's going to come into the Swamp and handle business. It won't be close. Florida's defense isn't horrible. I think they'll be able to keep it close for somewhat of the game, maybe the first half. But their offense is gross. They don't have the skill positions or the quarterback to really explode like Miami does. So yeah, give me the Hurricanes. Let's bring the Rock at the game and let's have him go nuts, run into the field maybe. Just create some chaos because that's maybe going to be the most interesting thing we see for Florida.
On to the next one here. We've got Boise State traveling to Georgia Southern in a very weird kind of game here. Boise's favored by 13. I'm taking Georgia Southern outright. I do not like what Boise did at quarterback. If this was Malachi Nelson, I would take Boise State here, no problem. But Maddox Madsen is not the guy. I think he held over from last year's team, was not a fan. And Georgia Southern is good. Clay Helton runs a good ship over there. Wasn't obviously the guy at USC, but he's a good program builder. Got this team to a bowl last year. I think they get a big upset win in honestly one of the bigger games that Georgia Southern has ever hosted in their program history. So give me a big upset here. I'll take Georgia Southern as plus 400 underdogs to get the job done.
That one's kind of surprising to me, Ed, honestly. I could see maybe taking them for the points, but I don't know if taking them outright's the play. I like Georgia Southern, but I don't know if I'm gonna take them for the points. I'm not taking them. I wouldn't take them outright. That's a little bit crazy.
Yeah, I'm a Power 5 guy myself. I guess Power 4 now, so not sure what to expect with Boise State. I definitely didn't expect that USC transfer to go there and not start, so that's probably not a great sign. But I don't hate that call, but by no means am I expert in these conferences. So I guess I would lean Georgia Southern. That's probably 95% of the fact that Jerick McKinnon went there. But besides that, I got no feel.
That's a good pull there. I did not realize that McKinnon went there. So love that. Love the angle.
Was a quarterback there? Was a quarterback for what it's worth?
The pipeline of Georgia Southern running quarterbacks to world champion running backs. I mean, I guess it's I should say Super Bowl champion. Don't want to offend anybody out there. Let's keep it moving here. Another Group of 5 game that I'm sure Reed is dialed into on Saturday at 4. We'll have this one up on ESPN Plus here at the house. North Texas, the Mean Green, are going to South Alabama. South Alabama is right about a 5-point favorite in this one. I'll take them to win and cover there. No real analysis other than this UNT team. I thought when they fired Seth Luttrell 2 years ago, it was a bad move. Last year, what they went under, I still don't like their team. I believe Chandler Rogers is starting quarterback these days, the former TCU kid. So right up I-35 he goes, and I think they'll be pretty bad. So give me South Alabama to win and cover.
I love that, Ed. I think that they will win and cover this game. UNT seems like they might be going a little bit down the tubes. Their recruiting's been rough. They've lost a lot of guys to the portal, a lot of transfers out, and a lot of transfers in. Don't know what to think about them, but I think that South Alabama is the easy play here.
It's not even worth taking my opinion because I don't know a single player on either team. As I mentioned, I am a Power 4 guy, and that pretty much ends my talk here.
One thing to note, UNT's safety, they got a transfer in from Ole Miss. He promptly tore his ACL and is out for the year. So that's why the people of Denton can't have nice things. We'll keep this thing moving to one of the games of the weekend here. Grayson's Irish against Reed's Aggies. I'm just going to let you two duke this out here. I think A&M wins and covers, though.
I love the storyline of this game. Riley Leonard in his first game as the QB for the Irish will be facing his old head coach and the Ags. I think this one's going to be a defensive battle. I think it's going to be low point scoring. Notre Dame under Marcus Freeman has yet to be an explosive team offensively. I wouldn't expect that to change this year. But I think that Marcus Freeman and his defensive mind just shines under the lights. I mean, what's going to be a top defense this year was a top defense last year and will be a top defense every single year that he's the head coach there. On the contrary, I think that Texas A&M also has a top defense. So, cold take, I think that the quarterbacks are going to throw for less than 300 yards combined. on Saturday. I think it's going to be a very, very boring offensive game. Could see like a 17-13, 20-14 kind of game. I don't think there's going to be a lot of touchdowns scored at all. My big hot take of the game. So Notre Dame has 2 All-American corners on their team. One of them is actually a safety. Benjamin Morrison and Xavier Watts. I don't think either one of them are going to be super big influential players in this game because I think that the Aggies are going to throw away from them. I think defensive MVP of this game is going to be Christian Gray, and I think he's going to come up big for the Irish. I'm talking pick 6, something's happening in this game for the young man. He's the best corner on the team in man coverage. He has freaking ball handling skills of an absolute seasoned vet, even though he's not a seasoned vet. So I love it. I think he's going to be an absolute machine in this game. And my final hot take of this game, I think that Marcus Freeman is going to come out and do something crazy on special teams. I see that we have a new kicker, new punter coming out, first-time collegiate starters on both the field goal kicker and the punter. I think that, especially with the lack of offense that I expect is going to come out and shine, I think that you're going to see a fake kick, a fake punt. Something's going to be faked, and it's going to be a huge, impactful game, huge, impactful play. And I think it's going to be a game changer in this one, and I think it's going to get the Irish the W.
2 questions for you, Grayson. 1, do you know Mike Elko?
Yes.
2, do you know Colin Klein?
Yes.
Those 2 people are going to turn this franchise around. They will not be the same Aggies that you're familiar with. Elko turns around every single program that he's been at. Now he gets the luxury of Texas A&M kids in the recruiting. They did not take a step back in that aspect. So he's going to get the most talent that he's ever had. Colin Klein, one of the most young, creative offensive coordinators in the country. It's going to be something that Aggie fans have never seen before. So you add all that together. They're at home. I know Notre Dame's a good defense, but it's not even an upset anymore. They are favored. I think they're going to protect home field there, and I think it's going to be a very fun game to watch. But I think this is going to be a new chapter for A&M, and I think they come away with a win here. I was a little bit skeptical at first to go out there and do that in the offseason, but I do think they beat Notre Dame, and maybe that's more of an indictment on Notre Dame than it is A&M. But I just think that they're going to find a way to win this game.
I think that the only advantage that Texas A&M has in this whole entire game is the fact that we don't have any film on what offense they're going to run. We have no idea what scheme they're going to run on defense. The advantage Texas A&M is going to have is going to be in that first quarter. If they want to win the game, they better come out guns blazing early. Because once Marcus Freeman adjusts to what they're running on offense, they're not scoring a point the rest of the game. And that's a pure statement back. We locked down Ohio State. We locked down Ohio State last year when we played them. Don't disrespect the Fighting Irish. We're coming out, and we're going to kick the tail out of A&M on Saturday. Let's rock.
Is that a PPF guarantee?
No, I'll tell you something that's a guarantee when we get off the pod later, though.
I do have to agree with my guy Dalton here. I do think Wegman can throw the ball around a little bit. I think both of them combining for under 300 is a little bit too bold for me. I think Wegman can probably get there pretty close to there on his own.
I think you're going to be really surprised with the secondary Notre Dame has. They might have a chance at having 3 All-Americans in the secondary.
Don't get me wrong. I know it's really good. I did my research, but 200's a low bar.
If anything should be disrespected on Notre Dame's team, I would say, if anything, it's the offensive line, and solely because they're not going to know what they're going up against, because we haven't seen what defense they're going to run and what blitzes they're going to run. So it's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult right off the rip, but that's about it.
And then, Cole's asking the important questions here of dishing the opening blow. I mean, is it truly you have the first minutes in this game?
I think that if Notre Dame drives the ball down the field on the first drive of the game, running the ball right down A&M's mouth, which I don't expect to happen, if that doesn't happen, I think that A&M will probably score the first points of the game. But after that, I think that Notre Dame's going to adjust and make adjustments all the way across the field. And I think we're going to be fine.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, let's get to our last game here. Wyoming at Arizona State. I've already laid my feelings down here. I think Wyoming wins the game outright. I'll take them plus the 230 and plus the 6.5 to get the job done. This Arizona State team last year was about as 0-0 of a rebuild as it gets. I still think they're pretty far behind, even though me and Reed's guy Cam Scatabo is still there. I don't trust Sam Levitt, the Michigan State transfer. He's a redshirt freshman starting at quarterback for him. No thanks. I'll take the experience of Wyoming. I think they get the job done on the road.
Yeah, I think that Wyoming is going to get the job done as well. I don't have much confidence in Arizona State whatsoever. I don't think that they're going to be on a growing year or building year this year. I think they're just going to be all around bad.
Yeah, I think I agree with you guys. You know, it's unfortunate. You know, get Cam Scatabo some help, man. He's a one-man wrecking crew over there for Arizona State. He punts it, he throws it, he runs it. He literally does it all for them. Unfortunately, they don't have enough, and you know I like Wyoming with the upset as well.
There we go. That's our 10-pack there of games. So make sure you get your picks in over on the fantasy website on ESPN. The link is in the comment section there, and I'll make sure and post it up on the podcast feed as well. What we've got here coming up, I mean, we can talk a little bit of ACC at large. I do just want to acknowledge the fact that I do not have to issue an apology on SMU tonight since they did come back and win. Grayson, no handwritten letters heading your way. I know you were looking forward to that, but they saved it for me, and I am greatly appreciative. They also are minus 42 against Houston Baptist this week, and I think they smash them by 50.
I would totally agree. I think that they can beat Houston Baptist pretty good. I think Houston Baptist is about as useful as a poopy flavored lollipop. That's just being genuinely honest with you there. So if they don't win by about 50 points, I would be gravely disappointed because that's just going to be a really sad, remarkable halt on their way to the ACC when they don't win 30 games.
Yeah, I'm already concerned about this SMU team. You know, I was a faithful backer. That week one scared me. Let's get back on the horse here. Let's not have this one be close. Let's, you know, find something on offense and let's get ready for ACC play.
I didn't think I would have to be the voice of reason here, but let me just – this is my one thing, and then we'll keep it moving to odds and ends. Let's let them lose first before we panic. Yes, week 0 wasn't great. They found a way. Let's let them actually lose and screw up before we start throwing panic here. They've got Houston Baptist, then they've got BYU, and then it's on to TCU in a rivalry game. Should be 3-0 headed into TCU, and they'll be more than a touchdown favorite there. We're fine. Everything's fine here.
They played in a straight-out street fight with Nevada. Come on, Ed.
I'm not going to disagree with you, but let's let them actually screw up before we start, you know, saying that they're going to go 3-9.
Hey, I'm just being honest with you. Watching that TCU Nevada game, that was like as street fighty as like the main street fight in Anchorman when Milt has a grenade out there. I mean, that's just plain and simple how it was. Okay,
Bridge got a trident.
That's just how it felt watching that. I'm like, these guys should not be on the football field at the moment. Every player on the field looks so bad except for number 16 for Nevada, their tight end. Guy's like 6'7", 267 pounds, and he's a shit brick house. I mean, he was just running over SMU players.
Hey, whenever the one dude got spit on, that was you know, the scene from Anchorman where Ron Burgundy's like, boy, that escalated quickly.
We were texting about that all in the group message as soon as it happened. I was like, man, these ACC refs are not being much homers these days.
That was after freaking Nevada committed a false start and a delay of game on their first 2 punts. And then it's in the dead ball while they're moving the ball back. This dude spits on a dude. I was like, what in the hell are we doing?
Yeah. Oh, God. And then what's his name? He ended up getting kicked out of the game, too.
Yeah, it was bad. I will agree, Dalton. Their offensive line looked awful against Nevada. But it's a wonder what a little bit of organization does. Nevada was terrible last year. They brought in Texas's co-DC, Jeff Choate. Looked a little bit more organized, and they definitely played a little bit better. But I think we'll learn a lot. All we'll need to know about SMU once we get to TCU there, because they got punked last year in Fort Worth, and I think if they don't rebound this year, then I will sound the alarms if they don't lose before then.
Yeah, the one thing that I did get out of that SMU game is number 69, the right tackle for SMU, is absolute garbage. Nate Anderson was a 5-star commit out of Frisco going into OU, never touched the field, comes over to SMU and gets absolutely bullied by Nevada's defensive end the whole entire game. It was straight up public abuse out there watching this guy get himself manhandled. It was rough.
And then we got to figure out the QB rotation too. We can't do both Stone and Jennings. They rotated them both in the first half, and both of them were pretty awful. They stuck with Stone full time in the second half, and just much better. And Dalton, big OU guy, new Nate Anderson. Where's the LeBron meme where it's like the sit down at the presser? Just knew it. But yeah, definitely was not good out there last game. Was looked like he was on skates the entire time.
Were you guys kind of surprised that Stone was the guy that played the whole entire second half? Because I genuinely thought Jennings outplayed him in that first half. So for me to think Stone would come out and play in the second half, why don't you just play him the whole entire game? It really didn't make sense to me.
So the way that Lashley said it pregame was that both of them were going to rotate early, which didn't make sense because during the week he said both would play. I was like, okay, that makes sense. You're going to go up 30 and then you'll get to rotate Jennings in. But then like right before the game, he comes out and says, they're going to both rotate in the first half. I was like, that makes no sense. But I thought Jennings did play better in the first half. He led them on their only scoring drives. So, but I do think Stone is by far the better passer. We saw it in the second half on some of those deep balls he threw to RJ Maryland, who was a matchup nightmare at tight end, 6'6", 240. Kind of Kyle Pitts, but before he was bad and drafted by the Falcons. So good player, but I do think that they should stick with Stone.
Stone made some bad decisions, though. I mean, he should have had 2 or 3 picks at least. He got away with 1, but there was 2 or 3 that were drop balls that should have been picks. I mean, just brutalized.
The reason why I took this SMU team was because of Preston Stone. And he comes out there and they're already talking about playing 2 quarterbacks. And I'm like, if there was any telltale sign to cash out now, that would have been it.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm still a believer for now. I just need to see him lose before I panic. But if things don't look great against Houston Baptist, then we'll have some problems. Speaking of problems, Florida State loses to Georgia Tech in Ireland. I thought Florida State's offense was kind of what we expected. It was DJU, captain check down. We know what that is. The defense getting worked by Georgia Tech, concerning to say the least, especially that defensive line. I mean, all sorts of portal additions to get wrecked like they did by GT. Grayson, I don't know about you. That was disappointing to see from their defensive line.
I was disappointed in their defensive line, but not nearly as much as I was disappointed in their offensive line. I had their offensive line as a top 5 offensive line in the country. And after watching that game, I don't think they're top 15, top 20. I mean, they got manhandled by Georgia Tech the whole entire game. I mean, it doesn't help that Georgia Tech could bring down both their safeties and put everybody in the box because they knew that DJU couldn't do anything. So that doesn't help their cause. But still, I mean, Georgia Tech came out and manhandled them offensive line-wise, manhandled their D-line, defensive line-wise, manhandled their O-line. It was strictly embarrassing. I just think that Florida State got the shaft because Haynes King didn't make any mistakes. I mean, he didn't have any turnovers, didn't throw any picks. Very un-Haynes King-like.
Yeah, it was a weird game. I think just off the first game of college football this year, we're all excited to watch. And Florida State just has a surgical drive down Georgia Tech's throat. Don't clip me on that. It was a very looked like a very sustainable thing that we saw. What, they're gonna be able to do this all game. Then the rain started to come in, and you would think that would help. And it's like everything we saw from the first drive just did not. It didn't sustain. They obviously weren't able to run the ball as well. They made DJU had to throw the ball, which I think he's best when you have a run attack, you can get in play action. I think that's when he was at his best at Oregon State, and he just was not very good. And I'm sure Clemson is thinking, look at this guy over here. And I'm excited to see that later on in the year when that's a rematch. But yeah, it was not pretty for Florida State, and I think the most concerning part was the trenches. We're supposed to be so good, and yeah, I'm just not sure what to expect with this team anymore. I think the ACC is not a very good conference. It seems like it's a two conference league now with the SEC and the Big Ten. So yeah, there was a lot going on in that game, and nothing that helped Florida State.
And poor Notre Dame, dude. The rich just keep getting richer, man. One of the tough teams on our schedule. Turns out that they're just not very good either. Golly.
Don't lose the game now. You better not lose that game.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, we don't have much of a choice. If we lose a game, we're not going to make the playoffs. One loss and we're out.
Hey, the only thing worse than being an independent is being a member of the ACC. So it's two of the worst things you could be.
That is no joke. That is no joke. Let us play in the Big 12. We'd rather take Big 12 football anyways.
Nah, you don't want the smoke in the Big 12. Too many good teams over there, no matter what Reed says.
Yeah, tons of good teams over there, Ed. It's a whole bunch. Can't wait for Cam Rising to show everybody what Big 12 football is about. Let's go.
Why are you hating so much? That is a deep conference over there. Like 8 or 9 teams could win it, and you're just like, oh, friggin' mid. Give me a break. It's entertaining. It's a fun conference.
It is a fun conference. 8 or 9 teams could win over there, but 8 or 9 teams could not get 5 wins in the SEC. I mean, that's simple.
Listen. The Big 12 was like the Special Olympics. It's fun, but nobody takes it serious.
That is the most disrespectful thing I think I've ever heard.
I mean, Texas and OU dipping out of the Big 12. The Big 12 was a little bit weak last year, just in general. It was a little bit weak last year, even with OU and Texas in there. And now that OU and Texas dipped, now it's like extra weak. It's like Reed's bench press. It's extra soft.
You're just gonna take that, Reed?
I'm just happy to know that I can officially rep 225, so I'll let that one rest for now.
I remember when I was 12.
Yeah, you had hair growing out of every ounce of your body from head to toe. At 11 years old, you were also known as Chewbacca's brother. But we'll keep going here.
Except the top of his head.
Hey, you guys need to relax, okay? Let's take some deep breaths here. I got hair on the top.
So Dalton does make a good point here. The 5 seed might be the sweet spot this year, because if you get like a team, I don't think Liberty makes the playoff as the Group of 5 team, but you get like a Liberty or a Memphis or an Appalachia State, something along those lines. At home, you're going to be favored by 30. Going to win that game. Then you get to go play either the Big 12 or the ACC champ. Like, I don't know. It seems like it might be the sweetest pass into the Final Four there.
And then you get a sweet incline to go play Georgia or Ohio State or Oregon. Gosh, that's super exciting. Can't wait.
That's better than playing like the second best SEC team in the Elite 8 at home. You'd rather get the freaking Group of 5 team, and then you get to go play in a neutral site against, Utah or Clemson or Miami. Like, take your chances if you're Notre Dame.
Go ahead and roll the Ricky Bobby clip. If you ain't first, you're last, Ed. It's simple as that. And I've been last a lot. Okay.
If that's your thinking, you're probably going to be last this year too, though.
Never. I can't even say it with a straight face. Yeah, probably so.
And then Cole would like to let us throw a little bit of respect on Georgia Tech. So noted, we overlooked them. That Tyler regrets the error. As the guy who had Florida State to make the playoff at plus 160. Can't hand that one out anymore. Didn't even make it through the freaking week 0.
They might
I like the running back. Georgia Tech's running back. That looks like an NFL dude. Maybe not early. No running backs go early now, but he looks like an actual NFL dude. Like, I'm actually excited to watch him the rest of this year.
They could still have a chance of making the playoffs, Ed. I don't think your bet's squandered. I mean, if they come out and Clemson beat Clemson, and if they win out the rest of their schedule, there's no way they can overlook Georgia Tech in first game of the season. I mean, come on.
True. It's just that if they play the way that they did, there's just no chance, which is probably the way I would lean at this point. But yeah, if they can flip it around, then, a week 0 loss in Ireland, they probably aren't going to hold it against them. It's more the way they looked. It's like, I don't know if you can flip that around.
I mean, think about it this way, Georgia Tech somehow goes and wins every single game the rest of the year, and then they play in the ACC championship. Maybe we'll be talking, 10 weeks from now? We're like, damn, that Georgia Tech team, maybe they were actually pretty dang good. We had no idea.
Anything is possible. Notre Dame could win a national title this year, too.
So could Minnesota. Who could say?
Reed, that is so disrespectful.
Yeah, I'm just hoping to get bowl eligible at this point, but we'll keep it pushing.
Speaking of, it is time for odds and ends. I'm excited for this. I got to start here. Let me see if I can share my screen. I got something. I got to cook here. So let me see if I can get this done. Here we go. This guy right here.
Story reflected their mindset last year if they're going to play the long game. Yeah. Story.
Drink.
If they're going to play the long game. Yeah.
Buddy behind him's already got the cocktail lined up with the lovely lady.
Mindset last year if they're going to play the
And
long
then we
game.
just end up right there. Just that look right there. This is a pain that you can't experience unless you've actually experienced it. Look at the pain and hurt on this man's face. And to top it all off, look at the lady right here. She knows. She knows something's up here. She sees it. It is not good. That was definitely one of the saddest things that I saw all day. First thing I saw when I rolled into work was this poor dude just getting absolutely stonewalled by a gentleman behind him. Prayers out to that dude. That's a tough situation to walk yourself into.
I think the only part of the video that I noticed was now he's got 2 drinks to sip on. And that's way better than 1.
If you're going to watch tennis, you might need 2 lavender lemonades. So tops off to him.
Well, and the worst part is I think I saw from our good friends at Front Office Sports, those drinks that he was holding, $27 a piece. That's an expensive lesson. Cole, same, brother, same.
Yeah, if I was to guess, those drinks are probably a good combination of Pink Whitney, water, a little splash of Crystal Light, and a little splash of electrolytes. We used to call that the chug-a-lug in college.
God bless the chug-a-lug.
Yeah, I think Reed still drinks those every weekend. So
he loves himself a good old bottle of Pink Whitney all by himself.
That's been retired since '98, my friend.
98.
Yeah, let's recalculate that. That would be about 2021 summer.
Close enough.
Grayson, have you gotten to watch the Connor Stallions Netflix documentary yet?
I have not. You know, Ed, I took a CPA exam on Tuesday. I haven't had much time to do about anything but sit in my desk and contemplate life.
Did you pass?
Won't know until October 31st, so I'll just keep contemplating life.
Well, they take 2 months to grade a paper? What's going on here?
You get the test. They take the quarterly results, and then they take the average of it and curve it. So they take when 300 people take the test in the quarter, Reed, they take the average grade, and when it's 60, they boost everybody grade by 15 points to make pass. Make sense?
So then how does over half the people who take it fail if there's just a ginormous curve?
Because it's probably really only like a 2 or 3 point curve. It's probably there's at 40. They last quarter, the average score for the audit exam was a 61. So it was a 14 point curve, which meant that many people still made bad grades.
Fair. Me and Reed watched it last night. I don't think it was a ton of new stuff besides, Mr. Barstool, Dave Portnoy injecting himself into a situation, which of course, shocking news if you're a Portnoy guy. They showed the picture of Connor Stallions on the Central Michigan sideline with his goofy ass recording glasses, and the people in the documentary straight up asked him. They were like, "So did you attend this game? Is this you?" And he holds the picture up to his face and he goes, "I don't recall being there." It's like, you don't recall? It's like, come on, dude. I think I'm going to start using "I don't recall" whenever I'm caught on something. It's like, oh yeah, I don't recall.
So, do we get to say that UW was the national champs, and we get to claim that as a podcast now, or where are we sitting there? Because we picked UW from the beginning, so I think we get to call ourselves the 1 year on the pod, 1 year on the national championship list.
Hey, we're just like UCF, buddy. We can declare it whatever we want. I think it's fair game now. I think everything is now in question. Of course, like nothing new came out of it. They're just like, oh, well, Harbaugh didn't know. It's like, of course he did. You're asking me to believe he's stupid if I don't think he doesn't know. Of course he knows. That's why he left.
Yeah, he was trying to get out of there before the program got in a lot of trouble.
It's pretty much the same deal in every league. Everybody cheats. It's just the ones that get caught, They all know what's going on. It's not like some shocking thing was going on, but since the media doesn't know about it, they have to, put it out there and act like, who's the first one to get caught? This year was Michigan. So it's really a non-story to me. Like I mean, everybody cheats.
I don't know why it would be any different than one of the coaches going and buying a ticket to go watch the UT game and sitting in the stands and just watching as they ran their little plays out there and saw what the guys were holding up on the thing and then ran against. I mean, there's no way that can be illegal to just go sit. I mean, I know he was on the field. That's completely different. But how can you get mad at somebody if they just want to go watch a Texas football game on a Saturday? I mean, come on.
If anything, they should have just inserted the, helmet communication far long ago, like when the NFL did. Like, there's no reason we should still be in signs, which I'm glad, we are officially, out of that era. But it just seemed a little outdated, and if they really wanted to, do something about it, then go make the quarterback run to the coach every single play, like we're in first grade again.
Yeah, I can't wait for to see these offenses really get humming about week 6 or 7 into this season, and see the pace, how much the pace of play is going to change. We're going to be running 70 plays a game on each side, just freaking humming down the field.
So I think it's kind of interesting now that we bring up the helmet communications. I think some of the coaches are going to overdo it. Like, I think they're going to try to micromanage the game through the quarterback's helmet. And I think if you have a young quarterback, it might start to be too much instead of just like, if it's a teaching point in practice where it's like, hey, if the safety comes down here, swing it out and you're good to go. Imagine if you're getting ready, because they don't cut it off until there's 15 seconds left. Imagine if you're getting ready to take the snap and you just got the quarterback, you got the OC in your ear, just like, hey, what's that safety doing? If that safety comes down, just throw it there. But if not, throw it here, or make sure you keep your read up. If I was a veteran, I would be so annoyed with the coach. I would just be like, dude, please shut the hell up and let me run my game here. It's like, you're not out here on the field. Just let me do my thing. So I think some coaches might get into a little bit of trouble with their younger quarterbacks, especially trying to micromanage the game a little bit. I don't know if y'all have any thoughts there, but that's kind of where I'm at on it.
I would hate to be North Carolina's quarterback and listen to Mac Brown through the headset just command you what to do.
Bro, Mac ain't calling the plays. That dude hadn't called the play since Vince Young was in college.
Just look over to the left now. They're in cover 4, first read slant.
Mac be like, any good barbecue joints around? Kind of hungry.
Unless it's a late game, then after the game, he's got to go right to bed. Because that dude looks like he's falling asleep on the sidelines half the time. He needs to call it quits. It's like him and Bevo. Which one is more asleep? They both are.
No comment. But yeah, basically nothing new out of the Stallions documentary, but kind of along the lines of cheating. Came out today from Front Office Sports that Deion Sanders in Colorado accused Oregon of hacking into Colorado's practice film the week that they got waxed 42-6 last year. The people who run Colorado's film, it's not Huddle, it's whatever the other one is. I think it's like DVS Sport or whatever. They came out and they issued a statement that they ran an internal evaluation on their security measures, and they found that the Colorado, in fact, did not get hacked into. Deion didn't provide any evidence, and their company came out and issued a statement that they were, in fact, not hacked. They were just brutally beaten by Dan Lanning in Oregon. So thought that was kind of funny that Deion tried to sneak that one in there before we hit week one, but just more evidence that this Colorado program looking for excuses. And then you got Deion not taking questions from several of the reporters because they actually asked him some decent questions. Not good over there in Boulder. I'm concerned. And then you like Joel Klatt saying, I think they're an 8 or 9 win team. It's like, okay, man, I don't see that world.
Who paid him to say that? That's what I want to know.
I can't get behind it, even slightly. I think Colorado is, I really thought, maybe Colorado would be decent with Deion there, and then they go out and they beat TCU, and then we're like, yep, we're good though, because TCU is complete fraud. No idea how they ever made it to a national championship game. Still absolutely mind blown by that one. But yeah, I can't get behind Colorado whatsoever, and that's the only reason that my bet's sitting on the line right now, because I think NDSU is going to I'm telling you, they might put a hurting on that team.
I can say, as someone who did bet against TCU, basically that entire second half of the season, I can't believe they made a national championship either, because it took me all the way up until I finally won when I took K-State against them in the Big 12 title game. And then I took all of that money and bet on TCU against Michigan because reasons. And yeah, they came out and won. And it was kind of funny in the Connor Stallions documentary. I don't want to spoil it. They get through that entire 2023 season. Miracle did not show the ending to that season where Michigan was beaten by TCU. I don't know. Wonder what happened in that game. Guess we'll never know.
Can neither confirm nor deny.
Yeah, and it was kind of funny because there was a whole thing that TCU got their signals pregame and changed them all up, and yeah, so definitely the underground sign stealing game is kind of interesting these days. So, anything else we got before we hit the piece out tonight? We've been going for what, hour and a half at this point. Good pod. Good to get the boys back together since you've been deep in your CPA weeds over there, Gray Man.
It's been hard in these streets, man. I know that we still have a top four draft tonight if we wanted to contest that, or if we want to wait until next week. That's whatever you guys want to do there.
We're already here. We might as well run it. That way we get out in front of it in the regular season. So why don't you explain how we're going to run it, G?
So we're all going to draft. We're going to do a nice snake draft. Etzel's going to run a number here in a second for us. But you're going to pick. Everybody gets 4 picks, and you're picking who's going to win the ACC, the Power 4 conferences. So let's say like Ed comes out and he says he wants Georgia first. Well, me and Reed still have to pick someone in the SEC who we think are going to win. So we're trying to hit whoever hits the most out of the 4.
All right. We know the drill. Random number 1 to 50. Grayson?
25.
Reed?
26.
Wow. I'll take 24 and we'll box Grayson in. Away we go, 1 to 50. If this is 25, we're getting the stream right now. Survey says.
All righty.
We were lucky. So it'll be Reed, Grayson, me, Grayson, Reed.
So do I get to pick? Can I pick the conference? Is that fair?
Yeah, you can pick any conference, any team.
All right. Okay. We will start with SEC. I'm going Georgia.
Love it.
It's bold.
Love it. Give me Big 10. And let me take the Buckeyes.
I get back to back here. I will give me the Big Ten, and I will take Oregon. And give me the SEC, and I will take Texas.
Perfect.
Uh,
Give me the Big 12, and I'm going to take Utah.
All right. Well, I will take the. Well, that's a tough one here. I guess I will take the ACC, and I will go Miami.
You get another pick here too.
And then I will take Kansas State from the Big 12.
Okay. I'm going to take the ACC, and Ed's going to hate me. I'm taking Clemson.
Yeah, I do.
You can take Georgia State, Edsel, or not Georgia Tech.
I'm on Georgia State's under 4.5 in the Sun Belt this year. I don't think I need them in the ACC either. Give me. So these are my last two picks here. Can I just take two from the Big 12? No, I need to pick an ACC winner. Damn you. All right, let's get weird here. I'll take Virginia Tech to win the ACC, and I will take Iowa State to win the Big 12.
Okay. Nobody took Oklahoma State. I'm very surprised. Reed bet them to win, and he didn't take them.
I have Kansas State over 9.5, and I have Oklahoma State over 8.
That's fair. That's fair. Give me the SEC for my last pick. And how about Blitz, Bama Blitz? Give me the Tide.
Roll Tide. So I got a Big Ten here as the final one. What are my options? We got Penn State. We have USC.
Itty bitty game, James.
I mean, I feel like you guys took the two powerhouses there. Would be actually hilarious if this is the year that Penn State gets over the hump as all the more competitive teams come in. I guess I'll just go Penn State. That's just not gonna happen, but hey, I'm here for it.
I'm gonna get us all screen printed shirts with James Franklin's little face on there with just word underneath, little game James.
I'll wear it proudly. I am on their over 10.5, so very manageable schedule in conference. It gets dicey when they get to postseason play. But hey, what could happen? Who knows?
On that, anytime he sees Michigan or Ohio State, it's just immediate pissing our pants. It's not good.
I don't think they play Michigan this year. I could be wrong, but I don't think they do. I think they only play Ohio State, and then the rest are questionable at best.
Penn State plays Iowa, though, Reed.
First team scores wins. They don't even need to stay for all 60 minutes. Let's just say first team to score a touchdown, you can go on the bus early and you can go home.
I honestly think Penn State could be pretty dynamic on offense. I have a lot of faith in their new OC. I think that if they can get run game efficiency, I think that Drew Aller would be a much better quarterback. They just have to get some kind of run game working in order for him to be able to play.
I'm not worried about the run game. I'm worried about the DJU effect of can he throw the ball farther than 5 yards past the line of scrimmage efficiently, consistently, something. Help they have the skill positions to do it, but they're going to be good on defense again, and they got the backs to be good. So who could say?
I mean, Drew Aller versus Cade McNamara. It's the crying baby versus crying baby meme. It's just not going to be any fun to watch at all. I mean, I hope they put that game behind a paywall because I won't want to see that on TV.
Stream East will be nice and dandy for us. The lag might actually be beneficial for our eyes. Let's miss some actual game time, but I need Penn State to win that game. That's for sure.
That game needs to be played straight on the CW. Get it on there.
Get our boy Tom Brenneman out and about. That'd be perfect. Nick Castellanos hitting bombs. Speaking of, he's making his debut this weekend. I'm excited to watch our boy. He's back. I need him to lean into the joke, though. Number one, I need Castellanos to hit a homer on Saturday. Then number two, I need Tom to lean into it. Just have a little fun with it. It's been some years now. Like, yeah, just have fun with it.
Love it.
No comment. Cool.
What game is on there? I forgot.
I think he's got Oregon State, Idaho, or something.
Oh, jeez. We'll be listening with just the audio, not the eyes.
Too many bad visuals.
Look, our eyes can't be on every game all at once, so we got to split our resources up. But anything else before we get out of here?
Y'all actually sleep because the Vols are nice, bro. I'm not gonna lie, they're an FCS powerhouse.
Yeah, it took them last year to cover against UCLA, and they got the job done. They were up 17-0. I had them, I believe, plus 17 and a half, and then they allowed 31 straight points and still covered. Also, speaking of covering, congrats to Reed on getting Delaware State home against Hawaii, plus the 40 and a half, big time.
Hawaii. I love Spectrum Sports, baby. What an upstanding program they got going on over there. Sorry for the Hawaiians, though, who are not able to watch for free. Have to pay quite a subscription. But for us over here, we're happy to watch their games.
At halftime, the announcer goes, because it's the only game on at this point. It's like 1 a.m. our time. The announcer at halftime at the desk goes, "So all our friends at the Circa Sportsbook, hello, hope you're having a good time, and we'll be right back with the second half." I was like, oh, yeah, he knows. DJs only are up for this one.
Degenerates and Cole Cizik. Those were the only people up to watch the Hawaii game.
No, Cole's asleep. He had a fire training the next day or something.
Yeah, I was full on asleep. I watched the SMU game laying in bed and about cried because I was talking so much crap to you guys in the group chat about how bad SMU was, and then they come back and win.
You have no idea how happy I was at the end of that game when they won. I was literally jumping around the living room. I was so excited.
That's what's like, there's one. 7 to go, baby. 7 to go.
Cole can neither confirm nor deny the sleep allegations.
Oh,
all right, fellas. Good pod. Let's do it again. Sunday night, I got a fantasy football draft, so it might be iffy on Sunday night. I know. Hate it. But
auto draft.
I
agree.
Hey, I just drafted while we were doing this podcast. So what's stopping you from doing that?
That's true. What'd your team end up looking like? That's the main question.
Oh, here, I'll read it off. I actually don't think too bad, I'm being honest with you. I'm projecting.
So you were drafting 1-5? That's where you were at?
Yep. Don't worry, I have a second quarterback other than this guy. I got Caleb Williams, Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Tank Dell, Mark Andrews, Keenan Allen, Jake Moody, Cleveland Browns, Kyler Murray. I drafted Jonathan Brooks because I think he's going to be a league winner when he's back from injury. Rico Dowd, Brian Thomas, Jackson Smith, and Jigba, and Jake Ferguson. That's a certified squad.
My NFL knowledge is limited, so I'll just say good job.
Yeah, that right there is a certified squad, if you were wondering. JSN is going to have a career season this year. I'm going to be a certified dog.
Yeah, maybe. I think I have him as my keeper, so looking forward to not have to draft him.
And I took the Cowboys' proposed starting running back, Rico Dowd, in like the 11th round. I was like, how is this guy still on the board?
It's Dalvin Cook erasure.
Dalvin Cook is going to be on the practice squad.
Dalvin Cook will be in the IR by week 3.
And yeah, Jetta's with the ghost of Sam Darnold back there. That's going to be an interesting lineup.
They're going to throw the ball a ton because we're going to be losing every game. So Jefferson's going to cook. I'm not worried about Jettas. He's going to, Darnold's. Yeah. People give Darnold a bad rap. Like, he's haven't played with anybody. Like, he's not great. Like, he'll throw his interceptions, but Jettis is gonna have another like 1,500 a year. Like I ain't worried about him.
Jettis will have his production. He's gonna have production. He's gonna score me 20 points a game.
I don't know if he'll have touchdowns, but he'll get the ball. Like he's gonna be solid.
I just need him to score me 15 to 20 a game. That's it.
Only.
That's all I can ask for, man. I can't be too picky.
Fair. Yeah, maybe we'll we could potentially go live after USC LSU maybe on Sunday. Get a quick week 1 reaction in.
Instant reaction.
Yeah, so we'll either go there or we'll go Labor Day Monday at some point. I know I'm off. Reed is off indefinitely at the moment, and Grayson, I don't know if you're doing anything Monday. I'm playing golf that day though, so it'll have to be in the afternoon if we get out there.
Well, I work until 5, so yeah, we can do it.
You don't get the day off?
No, I'm in the middle of tax season, man. You guys don't quite understand how my life works.
It's a federal holiday.
It's not federally inclined by my boss. It's federally inclined by yours because you work at the bank, so you get all the holidays off. I don't get none. I get Christmas.
You don't work at a bank?
No.
What do you do? Say that for another pod. I'm falling asleep over here.
Reed can't even count his ABCs. I mean, come on. Let's turn this pod.
Count ABCs. Questionable at best.
All right, let's get out of here. Reed, tell the people where they can find your pod at.
The Moneyline Masterclass, I have yet to upload this year. It's been a slow start, but I will be doing picks every single week on the Twitter page. So just type in the Moneyline Masterclass, find me there, as well as action, what I will have all my picks posted. Had a really good year last year. Hopefully won a lot of people a lot of money. Probably wasn't the case, but we'll be back this year, and I hope you follow along.
We'll be here at least twice a week getting ready for college football. And then when NFL starts, Grayson's the NFL guy. So we'll see what we can get done NFL-wise. But definitely looking forward to week 1, and we'll be here to wrap it all up here shortly. So that'll do it for this edition of the GT Counter Pod. Appreciate everybody who tuned in live on YouTube. We'll get this posted to the feed later, but we might cut some of the end off because a 2-hour pod on the streams probably won't get many listens. So that's the live stream exclusives that you get here. So appreciate y'all tuning in, and we will catch you later. So until next time, be the man in the arena. Go make some money. Peace out.